fall. It ain't gonna rain no more, no more. It ain't gonna rain no more. But how in the world can the old folks tell? It ain't gonna rain no more.
Hi everybody, I'm Kanalkanut.
And I'm Mr. Shoes.
And we're back with another hiker grab bag, where we go through all the equipment we used on the trail and give you our opinions, do's and don'ts, and if we would suggest sending it with you on your hike. These are Nalgenes. This came in very handy along the trail, as well as our Camelbaks.
We ran into a Camelbak representative along the trail, and he was mindful to tell us that these are no longer called bladders, that they're called reservoirs. We actually had two different ones along the trail. This is our first one, and this is our second one.
During our hike, each of us would always carry just under a gallon of water at all times.
That's right, a gallon of water. Now there is a whole community of hikers screaming to their screens right now if they're bothering to watch us, calling us fools and other words about carrying so much water. Water is weight, and you'll find a lot of thru-hikers, especially the lightweight and ultralight community, will carry 1 liter of water. And they won't even carry a Nalgene, because a Nalgene is too heavy. They'll carry a smart water bottle, and a number of them carry empty smart water bottles, because they are convinced that when they hike along the Appalachian Trail that there's an abundance of good, viable water. Now, Kanalkanut is shaking his head no. Water is plentiful along the Appalachian Trail. It's not always the best water that you're going to want to drink, but there were occasions where water was dry or water was minimal.
Now you might be asking, why would we carry so much water? Well, for multiple reasons. One of which being, we came across a lot of hikers on our hike that were really hurting because they didn't have enough water. They'd be sitting on the trail, completely dehydrated, unable to hike another step because they simply didn't have enough water. That was rarely an issue on the trail for us, as not only did we have this Camelbak, which lasted us most of the day, but in real tight spots we'd also have this, which came in extra handy. And the reason I also like this was because this is right against your back while you're hiking up the trail, so it's getting very warm, while this is on the side of your bag, chilling nicely. So if you did ever get to this, you'd not only have water, but you'd have cool, refreshing water.
The Camelbak was a good resolution to how to carry our water, because the weight was centered on our backs and was not burdensome. You could fill this up, and as Kanalkanut said, it would last you most of the day. Refilling became an issue because you had to unpack the top part of your pack to be able to refill that. But it was something that we were willing to endure because, one, it gave us an extended break, and two, it would last us as into the next day as well.
I also like the Camelbaks because a lot of the people with smart water bottles were dipping their water bottles into the water source and then purifying it. However, you're also going to be drinking from that same entryway. But with the Camelbaks, you'd put the water in through the top, you'd purify it, and by the time it was ready to drink, you'd be drinking out of a completely different end, not risking any contamination.
One of the negatives to the Camelbak was this seal. We opened and closed our Camelbak so often that the seal became tired, and we ended up getting some leaks, which resulted in us replacing our reservoirs with new Camelbaks in New York. There was a new design out, which I guess was the answer to some of the leaking issues that we were experiencing, but this one became even more frustrating because it's a threaded system and the seal would pop off.
One last thing about the Camelbaks, we picked this one up in Georgia, it's the one we started our hike with, but about halfway through, this locking mechanism broke. Our verdict is the amount of water the Camelbak provides is amazing. We really suggest being able to have that much water. However, the bags and the nozzles themselves left something to be desired, as there was a critical failure and we needed to replace them halfway through.
So as a thru-hiker, you want to consider the durability of your equipment. These did not live up to our expectations. So if you're going to be carrying a bladder system or a reservoir system and a hose, you might want to look at the Platypus.
Another nice thing about the Nalgene is their impervious nature towards extreme temperatures. Now, on the trail, nights can get very cold, as we experienced on Cherry Mountain, where it was actually snowing on us. Sub-zero temperatures, and we were just freezing. So Mr. Shoes here boiled some water in our stove and put it in the Nalgene, sealed it up tight, and popped it in our sleeping bags. All of a sudden, it was like we were sleeping in our beds at home.
We would recommend carrying a Nalgene, even if it's your only water bottle. We'd suggest carrying something that's going to be a bit more robust, is going to stand up to a bit of endurance. Some people, again, they're going to carry the smart water bottles and then replace them in the next town. Water systems, rain gear, all of these gear choices are going to be individual. We're giving you our perspective. We carried lots of water. We did not want to be without water. We drank consistently, almost constantly, as we hiked. We were never without water except once, even after drinking a gallon each. Having enough water gave us peace of mind. We were happy to carry the extra weight so that we knew we had what we needed when we needed it.
In Kanalkanut,
I'm Mr. Shoes,
everyone on the trail has their opinion.
and this is ours.
Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more, no more. It ain't gonna rain no more. But how in the world can the old folks tell? It ain't gonna rain no